Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the official ARK Podcast number 205. My name's Mistletoad, and I'm here live with the core team. Your host for tonight, as always, the one and only Mr. Atlas. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you for the introduction, Mistletoad, and folks, welcome back to another edition of the ARK Daily Podcast. This is Wednesday, Hump Day. It's Kelly Snook Day here on the ARK as well. She's our guest of honor. If you have questions, she's going to answer them for you. Let's go ahead and get everything started here. Let's take a look at the state of the ARK. 5,314 ARK Vault accounts, ladies and gentlemen. Liquidity on PancakeSwap, 328,973 BUSD. ILC reserves holding strong, 423,941 BUSD. Price a bit lower today, $2.33. Spark prize at 580.14 ARK. Yeah, we're seeing a bit of a dip on the price of ARK. We're not having as many buys as we should be having. We know the pressure is definitely off. As we looked earlier today, we had 134,000 tokens in wallets as folks are wanting to come into the pre-seed. But this is the time, folks. This is it. We cannot drag our feet. We cannot sit idle. If we want to fight for the project and we want to rally as we did a couple of days ago, we have to keep the buy pressure on. We understand that as we spin up it's the Zoom presentations. As we spin that up, that's going to have definitely an effect. We want to have the integrations completed of the on and off ramps as well. So anything that we can do as a community will be very helpful at this time, folks. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, we have our MVP for today. Let's take a quick look at that as well. MVP. Yeah, they're all ends in EF28. They brought in 1,108 ARK MVP, whoever you are out there. Thank you. This is what we need from all of the community. This is where we turn the tide. We understand that tough times don't last. It's tough people that put the work in that make the difference. And it comes down to every single one of us to do what we can on our end. We've taken the pressure right off of the sales. We're at a very low volume as the folks have been stacking their ArkFi. They're going to be burned, 130,000 of them. This is a fantastic gap and an opportunity for us to be able to rally back up. There's only so much we can do on our end when it comes to creating the event of taking the pressure off. But we all have to pitch in and seize a day. At a minimum, we could find a floor, but it's going to have to find a balance between the buys and the sells together. If we have more buying and selling, the pressure that's being taken off through the pre-seed contract, burning those ArkFi tokens into the vault, this is where we can really step up and shine. With that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Mr. Brett Nordine. How are you doing, sir? I know you're super busy. It's been a very, very busy couple of days, couple of weeks, couple of months, but definitely a lot going on today.
Always busy. Yeah, it's a good thing. It's always good to be busy, but it's always positive growth, and building something is always very rewarding. And we get to see all the great comments, and everybody's getting excited here for the pre-seed round. We did send out an announcement earlier with just the basic details, the timing for tomorrow, and for the round one opening. So it's going to be exciting. And I know people that have been stacking and waiting, they're going to be able to seize the opportunity. We are going to have wallet caps. We talked about this yesterday. We went through, it was quite a long journey through the white paper. but there will be wallet caps to give everybody what we think is going to be a fair chance while still, filling up the round. We don't want to spread it so thin to where if we don't get the wallet participation, it won't fill up the ARK cap, and then we can't move forward. So the way we're going to have it organized is that once the deposit cap is met for that particular round, then we'll just move on to the next round automatically. Were there any changes to that, Atlas, or is that how Mr. Green, in fact, designed it today?
That's what we're working on today, and that's, in fact, how we have it.
Okay, perfect. So, for example, round one has a 10,000 ARK deposit cap, and once that's filled, we'll just go right on to round two automatically. So it'll just be updated through the DApp with the new ARK deposit price, and then the new ARK cap for round two, and then so on and so forth. Round four will end when there's 130,000 total ARK deposited into the pre-seed contract. We also, in the announcement, there's the light paper link. So if there's anybody new on the call today, didn't get a chance to review the light paper and get an idea of what ARKNet's all about, what the ARKNet token's all about, that would be a great read. It's fairly short. It's not like the other ArkFi white paper. So I think it should be pretty quick to go through and get a basic understanding of what we're trying to build here. Other than that, we've been just making some tweaks on the sales funnel landing page. You mentioned the Zoom call starting soon. I know that Bizy Dips and the team over there, Florida Realtor, Raphael's on that team, Brandon, AJ Metz, Amanda, and also Brad and Mistletoe, obviously. Getting really close to starting those live Zoom calls. Just getting organized, tailoring the presentation, trimming it down a little bit. Was fairly long, but better to develop more content than you really need. And so they're able to tailor it, make it a little quicker, streamline things, and those should be starting shortly. So yeah, the front end's looking good. The new ARKNet token is going to really help, I think, ArkFi in general, and give us a place for a private, secure, decentralized, autonomous network that we can build our applications on. So that's exciting. Anything else you wanted to touch on?
No, I think that's a great update. We have tomorrow to prepare for Friday, the pre-seed, and ideally we want to have the DApp to show everyone and go through the process so they can understand how they can interact with the contract and get their place. So look forward to tomorrow's podcast. As many folks as need to look at it first, please do come out and be with us. We'll record it as well for those that are not able to attend. So you'll have a glimpse and you'll see how everything's set up for you. So yeah, very, very excited. It's going to be a fantastic day. And we got obviously a lot to look forward to here at ARK. We're going to try to keep today's podcast on back to our regular schedule of 1 hour. We have Kelly here. We have all aboard with Amanda. Looking forward to seeing that as well. And of course, our DeFi sessions. So without further ado, let's bring Kelly up and see if the community has any questions for her at this time. Hello, Kelly. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I forgot that I was connected on my phone rather than on my computer, but here I am. Took me a minute to find the mute button. Can you hear me?
Perfect. You sound great. How have you been?
Thank you. I've been all right. I've been home for the last week and a half. I'm about to leave again on Friday. I won't be able to make it next week, by the way. So I'm
Okay.
hoping that if anyone has any questions, they'll ask them today.
Great. How's the ARK Rocket Science Syndicate doing? Any updates, information coming from them?
Great. I think it's doing great. I think, as far as I can tell, no, things are mostly quiet in the Telegram. A little bit of activity, but I think everyone is just looking forward to the upcoming new release. releases or launches or pre-seed content.
The FOMO.
Yeah, the FOMO.
There is a lot of excitement indeed. So let's see. We have 54 folks here. Since we had the drop in price, we've had a lot more engagement, Kelly, from the investors. They've wanted to come and ask us what's happening, and great questions. And they've also had the opportunity to see the roadmap, what we're building, the on-off ramps, the revenues that are coming online. So it's actually been a very positive experience overall, as we have over 5,300 investors here, and we were able to find a way to communicate to every single one of them. We did an announcement, and we found out it's been a great solution, and now folks are really up to speed. I think a lot of folks just became very passive in managing their investment, auto allocation, and living their busy lives, their best lives, which is great. Enjoying the great life that ARK affords its investors. So great to see them come on through. And let's see, does anyone have a question?
I just want to let everyone know that I did share Kelly's new calculator update into the main chat. So if anyone doesn't know what's going on, she did create an update to add auto redeposits into the calculator. And it is awesome. So thank you so much, Kelly.
You are very welcome. Have you had a chance to play with it?
I played with it a little bit, but not as much as I'd like to. I've just been so busy in the chat and just helping everyone else
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
It looks pretty well. It looks pretty good. It looks like it functions as it should. I haven't been able to find
Thanks.
it.
Excellent. Yeah. Thanks for posting that again. I haven't gotten really many feedback, comments, or questions about it. So at some point soon, I think I will replace the formal link that's in the white paper. I'll just go ahead and paste this version of the calculator in there. So that'll be the one that's linked from the white paper instead of the original one.
Did you ever find out if there was a bug in it? Because last time you were here, you told us that there seemed to be more gains by following a certain strategy, and you weren't sure if that was correct or not. And we didn't hear anything from anyone as well.
I haven't found any bugs. I haven't found anything wrong with it. So I actually think that could be correct. Just given the tax structure that's inside the ARK system. So yeah, I as far as I'm aware, it's working as functioned as designed. Brandon said he might have a look, but I know that he's also been very busy, so he hasn't gotten back to me. So yeah, if anyone can find a bug, let me know. But otherwise, it seems to be the reality that if you do a lot of auto redepositing, not only do you go faster, but you actually get a few more ARK that way. But yeah, you should always take whatever the calculator says with a big grain of salt and test it out. And if something doesn't look right, see if you can figure out why. But that's how it looks to me.
Well, the feedback's been that it's scary accurate. You've done an amazing job.
Thank you. It's fun.
Thank you.
It can definitely be addictive to plug in different scenarios and see all the good news that comes back out of it. So that's kind of fun.
Some folks are really into it. There's some folks too that are really into the Dune analytics, and they spend a lot of time over there and going through it. I know Eternal does, which is really great. So I get DMs, hey, look at this cool, data point that's happening over at ARK. And so got a bit of a feeling of who is really into the calculator as well as the Dune analytics. And shout out to Andrea from Italy. He's the one that created the Dune analytics here for the ARK project. Great person. He's been a great friend to the project.
Yeah.
Very nice
Lots of
segment.
stuff.
Go ahead, Mr. Nick.
I was just wondering, well, more of a suggestion. I don't know if there's any content creators out there that would do like a video just using some basic, like 500 ARK, basic strategy, 50-50, just to show. I have not played around with the calculator. It's my own fault, but I don't think that'd be a bad idea for a video, just to show some basic, like small investor type, like math. I'm not sure if anyone has done that, but it sounds like it could be a good idea.
I did that
Great
with the drip
suggestion.
calculator. And then we did do a pretty detailed walkthrough of the original version of this calculator when we launched. But yeah, it might be time for another one. Wouldn't want to take up time during the normal Wednesday podcasts, but I think I would find it a lot more motivating to do that in real time with people on a call rather than making a video, because I hate making videos. But I will do that if it's really needed.
No, we can do it here live. It's recorded as well. But yeah, I see what Nick is saying. We have a lot of great content creators here, and that could be, a great piece to do and share the calculator. So thank you there, Big Nick, for the suggestion. Anyone else?
Yeah, I've got one for you, Atlas. When is I noticed that when I click on the link for ArkNet, the ArkFi.io/ArkNet/, when is that going to activate to where, when are we looking at, like right before launch, we'll be able to click onto that and then do our swapping?
That's correct. Yeah,
Okay.
it'll go on. The D app will go on right at 3 p.m. EST, 7 p.m. UTC on Friday.
Okay, so everyone will have to just click on that right at 3 and then start swapping.
That's correct. It will all begin.
Gotcha. All right. Thanks.
Great question. Thank you. All right. But any more questions for Kelly? We don't want to hold her up. We know she's very busy. So this is your time, folks. She's here live on the pod with all of us.
Crickets.
Indeed. Indeed. But it's great to see you here and your support. And we've been following, the syndicate and the group, and, great set of investors, folks that understand that, look, it's crypto. You have, great times of just abundance and prosperity, and then you can have a couple of tough days or weeks. It's part of investing. There's nothing that's guaranteed. You have to weather the storm. DC9, we know, is what the smart money does. They see the opportunity. They have long-term strategies. So Kelly always finds how I say strategies incorrectly, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. So folks are taking advantage of it, and there's so much coming. So it's great to see the positive vibes there. Overall, we're seeing the sentiment is positive and strong. And we understand that, tough times don't last forever. It's just something that we have to get through, and there's always positive things. As really reconnecting with the large majority of the community, and being here every day, answering questions, explaining things to folks. There's no doubt that the team is working extremely hard. Your recent update of the calculator is another, I think, clear evidence of everyone that's involved in this project is putting, their time and is putting their efforts into the success. And we have a long-term strategy. We said that from day one. So we'll weather, this situation, and we believe without any doubt, with the utilities coming online, going on our AMA tours, tapping into so many folks from the real world that are facing inflation, that are looking for a opportunity to get into a project that could, print in their favor against inflation. We have an absolutely bright future. So many folks have not heard about ARK yet. Let's get this crypto. Thank you, Kelly, for your time. We're going to go ahead and transition over to the All Aboard with Mistletoe to be the host of the All Aboard. And I believe he has something very special lined up for us. Is that right, Mistletoe?
Oh, yes. Tonight we have AJ Metz, aka Amanda, live today. She is on the pod. New video as she just highlighted the amazing things we just went through with the All Aboard giveaway, her son winning, and just what's to come with the future of ARK. So, Amanda, is there anything you wanted to say before we go into your video?
No, I think you pretty much covered it. You guys will see.
You do an amazing job. I just want to thank you and keep up the great work. You're a rising star here in the community. All right, let me pull up the video. Before we do get started, I just want to remind everyone, I will extend the sweep widget for another 15 minutes just as we watch this video. It'll be about 10 minutes. You got about 10 minutes to get into the sweep widget and for your chance to win $50 to $100 worth of BUSD. You'll also be you'll be liking and commenting on Amanda's new video, and it really helps support our content creators here on the ARK. So without...
Hi, Amanda here. Happy Monday. I hope you're having a beautiful day. It's quite nice out today here in Tennessee. Only a few more days of school for my boys, so that they're getting really excited for that summer vacation to start. I'm getting a little less excited for that summer vacation to start, but that's life with kids. You have to have them back every summer, so hopefully they won't drive me too crazy. Today's video, I just wanted to, as usual, give you a little bit of an update on our family, give you a little bit of an update on ARK and where they're heading. I will start with the price. We seem to have found the floor, which is something that I had discussed earlier. I don't think that we're going to be dipping anywhere below where we are now. In fact, we are actually on the rise, which is great news, but I'll get to that in a moment. First, I kind of want to rewind for a moment and mention that May 19th was ArkFi's 200th podcast. We had a little, I guess you could call it a party of sorts. We all were on the podcast. It was a very large group. So many new people came, which was wonderful. I hope that you guys all come back to the podcast. It was so great having such a large group involved. It was a little bit of a feel-good time. We all kind of talked about what we love about ARK, what kind of a difference it's made in our lives, and there were some really emotional, touching stories that really just showed you what ArkFi was all about. I hope that some of you, at least some of you, were in that podcast listening to these stories to see how it can really touch somebody's life. The exciting part of that podcast was there were 5 giveaways in addition to the usual Spark prize and the sweep widget prize, that the Wheel of the Toad. They gave away 1 prize for 500 BUSD and then 4 smaller prizes of 250 BUSD, but still, that's $1,500 that they gave away that night. Again, not counting their usual daily drawings that they do. And what an incredible night for my family with those drawings. Now, I will say I did not win anything, but Logan did. He won the grand prize of $500. So I know in one of my videos I had mentioned that I blew him out of the water. It's not even close anymore. Logan is just destroying me now. He won that $500, but I'm super psyched for him. What an incredible thing. He was beaming ear to ear, and I got quite a few hugs that night. So it was absolutely worth me losing and him winning if it meant that I got hugs from my teenage son. And then the icing on the cake, shortly after Logan's name was called, my dad's name was called for one of the $250 prizes. So just incredible. And really, you know, it just couldn't have worked out any more perfect, because it really illustrates what ARK is about. You know, of course, it's about making money and passive income and, you know, all of these opportunities for a family, but it's, you know, it's also about, you know, about family. It's not just for those whales, as they call them. You know, of course, we love when they invest, but it really is also this incredible community. I've spoken about it so many times before, how we all come together, and to see a grandfather and his grandson both win one of the drawings was just what an incredible night. So it's been really thrilling. I received news shortly after that, just to add to my excitement of ARK, that I was asked to be a part of one of their teams that's going to be doing some marketing in the next few weeks. And what an incredible honor. And you know, if you guys are watching, I thank you again. But I am super, super excited to not only, you know, make these videos for myself, but also be involved directly with the developers in helping promote ARK in any way that I can, because I really do feel so strongly about it, and I am so passionate about it that the opportunity to be able to share that excitement in a way that helps ARK and the community is thrilling, and I believe it to be the chance of a lifetime. So I am very excited about that. And then just one final thing that I wanted to say in this video is that not only has it been an unbelievable week for my family with ARK, but it's also just been a really special week for my family in general. Saturday, the 20th, my husband and I celebrated our 17th wedding anniversary. So that was quite the milestone. I love him today just as much as I love him the day that we married. So it's really been a special weekend. ARK is doing really well. The price is back up on the rise from its low point. I think last I checked, it was $269, up from its low of $235. So we're getting there, folks. We're heading back up. I knew we would. I don't know what the new kind of average price is going to be. It seems to be hovering between $265 and $275, somewhere around there. I think it'll hang there for a little while until the utilities come out, which they are coming out fast and furious at the end of this month. We are going to have the ARKnet pre-sale or pre-seed sale, and then we are also going to have the on and off ramp, and all of that extra revenue coming into ARK is really just bound to make that price go up even higher. But remember, it doesn't matter so much if the price goes up. It's that stability that you're looking for, because regardless of what the price is, every single day with your 2% interest, you're still making money. So, you know, if the price stays at $275, that's great. If it goes up to $571 again, well, that's great too. But either way, it's the price isn't the most important factor here. It's you know, that its liquidity is there, and that the ILC reserves have been built back up from a low of just under 300,000 to we are now well over 400,000 in the ILC reserves. We are looking healthy. ARK is making that comeback that we all knew that it would. You just needed to take a breath and be patient for a moment. ARK isn't going anywhere. It is just beginning. That journey has just started. If you liked this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you are interested in joining this journey with us, please use my referral code down below. I've copied and pasted it for your convenience. Please remember, any syndicate member of mine that has 50 coins or more in their wallet, 50 coins or more in the vault, I will be airdropping you coins on a regular basis. I think that is it for today. It's all good news, smooth sailing, and have a good day. Bye.
Amazing video as always. Very powerful. I always get the FOMO when I watch your videos, Amanda. Very personal. I
Thank
like
you.
the personal aspect of it, and kind of it's less about the information and more about your experience and how it makes you feel, and that's very powerful.
Thank you. I figure, there are guys out there that can do the nitty gritty details far better than I ever could. I'm still very new in this whole environment with investing in crypto, and I'll let the experts speak to details, and I'll just stick with what I know, which is just my experience with it. So it seems to be it seems to have kind of appeal to a crowd that maybe other videos might not, and that's great. I just do what I can to spread the word as much as possible.
Oh yeah, you found that niche. Yeah, I always love watching your videos when you send them to me. They always make me feel good inside.
Love that. Absolutely love that.
Amanda's star is rising to superstardom, folks. Let's all give her a round of applause. Supporting, confident, calm, cool, and collected. This is what it's about, folks. We have a Spark reward to give away, but let's see if we open it up to a couple of questions, as we're just 2 days away from the pre-seed and want to make sure that everyone has their opportunity to ask their questions, whether it's regarding pre-seed or anything else that you might like to ask. This is the time.
I did have a DM. Someone was asking if there was any way we could create some sort of timer on the app, just for people that are across the world and confused with time zones.
Indeed, we will do that, sir.
Beautiful.
I do have a question.
Go right ahead.
Could it be possible for someone, like I've been stashing my ARK, hoping to get in on the pre-seed. There's going to be some bigger wallets, with more ARK. Is there potential for someone like me to not get in on the first round? I mean, is it possible that, or is there some sort of limit? Again, I haven't read the white paper, and so apologize, but I was just not sure if there's going to be a way to make sure everyone gets at least an opportunity to buy a certain amount before
Correct.
Buying a lot.
There is.
Great.
There is. Everything that we do here is always coming from a place of fairness, a level playing field, so that everyone gets an opportunity. Now, we can't give everyone a spot, but we're going to give everyone the opportunity when the clock ticks. And we have limits per rounds, per days, so that we give as many folks the opportunity to spread it around as possible. We're not releasing, as of right now, the information of how much those limits are really going to be. We're afraid that some people might try to game the system and transfer into different wallets their ARK and take advantage of the whole pre-seed in that fashion. So to avoid that, we're not stating upfront how much we're going to do it for, but there's definitely going to be a chance, and it's definitely not a whales game where they're going to be able to come in and take massive positions ahead of everyone else. We always keep the little guy in mind to make sure that they have an opportunity as well. Does that answer your question, sir? Or do you have anything else?
Yeah, that sounds fair.
Great.
Just, excited like everyone else. So
great. And we understand there's folks that have not gotten their ROI yet, that came in within the last month or 2 weeks or a week, and we've had a change in price. We've had a substantial change. So we want to give them also that opportunity, as we know that so many, the large majority of investors here have done extremely well. We are keeping them in mind So when you see it, I think you will all be very happy and satisfied and clearly understand that we gave as many folks as possible the opportunity so that it wouldn't be a bonanza just for a certain few. Thank you for your question. Anyone else?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, go right ahead.
I was wondering if at any point we will or could implement a login password for the DApp rather than having to connect directly with wallet.
That is something that is been under discussion for some time as we're looking to go to a mass market and having abilities. We spoke a lot about that yesterday to get yesterday's podcast. If you want to hear all of our views on that, they're recorded. That would be podcast number 204, posted here in the main chat and also in our announcement channel. As of right now, we are not working on that part. We're focusing our energy, just to recap what we said, on releasing the on and off ramps, as well as the other work we're doing with the DVPN, upgrading and finishing the whole rebranding of the current D app. But that is something that's definitely up for discussion and part of a plan of looking at making it easier for a lot of folks to enter into the ARK. Thank you for the question. Do you have another one?
No, that was it. Thank you. And I'm definitely more excited about the exactly what you're saying rather than what I suggested. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. It's a little bit hard to hear me. It was pretty low, but is there anyone else before we go ahead and do the wheel of the toad and give away 100 BUSD to this fantastic community?
I think they want the wheel.
You're up, my friend. It's your turn. Again.
Let's go. All right. So for anyone that is new, I know we have a couple new people here in the podcast live. This is our daily all aboard session, our sweep widget draw. Every day we have a new contest link posted in the chat. It's a new sweep widget link. Every day that's going to be posted in the main chat, in the announcements channel, in the contest and giveaway topic. It's pretty easy to find. All you'll have to do is click on that new sweep widget link. You're going to be redirected to a task list, and you're going to enter in all of those tasks. It's going to range from liking and commenting some YouTube videos, clapping up some Medium articles, retweeting some Twitter links, and even just visiting some websites. Once you go through all of those tasks, you'll be entered into this beautiful wheel right here. And if we spin the wheel and land on your lucky name, you'll win $50 to $100 worth of BUSD. And since we have over 50 people live in the podcast tonight, we are going to be giving away $100 worth of BUSD to one lucky winner. So do be sure to get involved. We do this every single day, and the new sweep widget link goes out right after the podcast. So do be sure to enter and keep an eye out for that link. So without further ado, let's give away some money.
Let's go. On the count of 3, 2, 1.
Congratulations, Reebok Neb. You've won $100 worth of BUSD. Congratulations.
First time winner? Do you know, Mr. Toad?
Your mic is a little bit distorted, but I believe that is a second time winner, actually. So it does pay to keep on participating and enter every single day. You can win more than once. It is just that easy. So do be sure to enter every single day.
All right, sir. Is that better on the microphone?
That is way better.
Thank you, Mistletoe. All right, let's go ahead and get set up here to do the Spark reward drawing here live for the community. We have 611.53 ARK. That's the street value of $1,430.90. 10% of that is going to go to the MVP. So we wish everyone here great luck in today's drawing. Can you see my screen, Mistletoe? Okay, 1 second. Let's give it a shot. Right there. We should be back.
Oh.
Okay, sir. Here we go.
$625 ARK. Let's go. That's a good prize.
Oh, yeah. Let's go. All right, and there it is, folks. Today's winners just about to come out. There we are. The winner of today's Spark Reward, their wallet ends in 7E99. They've won 291.77 ARK. That's a street value of $682.74. They are first-time winner. Congratulations. And a big shout out to the MVP who's won 10%, 32.42 ARK, $75.86. Sheesh. Nitro mode, folks. Woo. Another massive win. Are they here live, the winner? Are they in your syndicate? You can look on the D app through your syndicate and look above you, below you. Maybe it's somebody that you know that you're in a syndicate with.
I don't
Mr. Z. What was that, sir?
I'm sorry, Atlas, but I don't think that worked out right, did it? Is that math correct?
Let me check. 291, because we had a hold on a second. Yeah, there might be, because yesterday we did the two split of the pots. Oh, I think the transaction was saved. Yeah, we still have 771. I see what's going on. One quick moment. Yeah, it's showing here we have 771. So let me go back and see where the issue was. Let me go ahead and look into it. Z, can you go ahead and start the DeFi sessions, and I'll see what happened here with the transaction for Spark. And thank you, Johnny, for pointing that out.
No worries. How's it going, people?
Yeah,
Hope you guys
it's still
are well.
showing 771 in the pool. So go ahead, sir. I'll go figure this out. Be right back.
No worries, no worries. Let me just share my screen, guys. 1 second. Okay. Can everybody see my screen?
Yeah, Z, you're up.
Amazing. So yeah, right now, before I start like the fundamental news, I just want to kind of show you guys a technical level that's taken my interest right now, because we have tapped into it previously. On 12th of May, we've so Bitcoin's currently at 26,433, and when we tapped into the zone, we saw a reaction to it, and that's when we started to fill a range. And now I want to sort of monitor and see if we. So this is a 4-hour, you can say, pattern here. So I'm on the 4-hour time zone. I'm like with you guys. I'm doing the sort of long-term plays here, and what I see is we came back to a movement here. We tapped into this gap. Now the next few days and weeks, I want to see if we get into the 25,000 region, because there's a bunch of you can say things coming up in on the economic calendar. So if we go to things like Forex Factory, what we see currently is there is a bunch of news, things like Treasury Secretary speaks, FOMC meetings, the interest rate hikes. There's a bunch of things like unemployment claims still to come this week. So this week, like there's enough
later in the week on a certain, you know what I mean? Just because it's you.
Sorry, Zeke.
No worries. Was that someone asking a question, or was that just a hot mic?
Just a hot mic.
Okay, no worries. Yeah. So basically, so today is Wednesday, right? The 24th. Just in today, we've seen sort of dips in the market, and that's because there's a bunch of really critical things happening right now in the market. There's like I think Janet Yellen is someone who's very crucial this week to find out how much we're away from being out of cash, for example, and how much do we print on that side of things. So we're going to find out that on the first week of June. So whenever we finish the end of the month, what we normally see in the market is we see bearish moves because either the hedge funds are clearing out their orders, or there's a big Fed wire sort of agreement that happens, and a big transaction goes through where a bunch of sales happen. The whole point of that is to have a clear whiteboard of what to trade from there. And the same thing happens in the crypto market. We go through the same sort of levels in BTC. So currently what I'm seeing is the next week could define, do we go to a lower stage? Do we go to 20? Do we touch into 26K and below to 25K? Or do we stay in this sort of zone where we tap into 27,000, come back to 26,500, go back to 2750, tap into 2544? Like, so we're going to concentrate on this area here. So I'm going to stretch it here. And as we get through the weeks and days and weeks, we're going to see if we tap into that zone. So that's my current like technical interest. And I think it's really important that prior to that, I was going through fundamental news, but now I realize a bunch of us are buying into tokens, are in crypto, are looking to, and what I want to do from just my technical point of view is to save as many people from buying tops, because buying tops is what gets most people in crypto and in stocks and other places wrecked. So right now, this is not the time to buy dips because there's all these levels that we might pull back to. There's times when you do have sort of entries to buy dips. So like end of April, we had a moment where I bought into a token and basically took profits at 29,000, for example. So and we talked about that on the podcast as well. So these are important levels that us as investors in crypto and DeFi need to understand the moves of Bitcoin, because the same things that happen at Bitcoin start to take place in Ethereum. So if we look at this is the Ethereum chart, and what you'll see is it's pretty similar to the same patterns that Bitcoin sort of engulfed, and there's reasons behind that. So that's the first thing I wanted to touch was a technical thing. Now let me go into the fundamental side, if you guys don't mind. Give me 1 second. Now, the other thing you have to keep your eyes on is the fear and greed index. What the fear and greed index does is it gives us a little definite point of how many people are holding to their crypto and how many of them are selling their crypto. And currently, we were in the greedy zone for a good, you can say, 4 to 6 weeks. We were in this green zone, and we're starting to hit into neutral and going into fear, right? And as we get into the fear, you're going to see big sell-offs. So this is another good measurement of how the markets are prevailing. And this fear and greed index, I've posted it into the DeFi link, so more of you can get access to it. But you can take it back to like 1 year. You can take it back to 3 months and see what people's valuations are in that time frame. So this is something that's pretty cool. So currently we're neutral, and I think we're going to go into fear very soon. So that's the update there. Now I'm just going to get into this article here. I think this is important. Just give me 1 second. Cointelegraph. Where is it? So basically, it touches into, like, you can say why we are where we are currently. And I don't know if this is the right one, but but I'll give a little insight. So basically, this week we have a bunch of things that are happening as we're covering the end of the month. We have you can say the banking crisis that's still currently taking place. We have a bunch of other things that are like building in crypto in itself when it comes to adoption. We have I'm just trying to find the perfect article. That article touched into a bunch of different things. Let me see if I can find that article for you guys. Just give me 1 second. It basically explained a few things, but we'll cover that in a sec. The next thing I want to talk about is adoption. So when it comes to having more user bases, one sort of subject matter that I sort of touch into is South America, because South America is where you're seeing a bunch of Bitcoin tender sort of royalties take place. So things, so countries like El Salvador have legal tender to Bitcoin. We're looking at Mexico go through the same path, and we're seeing Costa Rica also allowing folks to invest in sort of a residual Bitcoin. So a big thing happened this week when it comes to Bitfinex. So Bitfinex, as we know, is one of the biggest sort of leveraged trading brokerages in sort of crypto, and they did a big announcement this week. So I'm going to read through this article here. So it reads out: Bitfinex partnership pushes crypto adoption in Latin America. Bitfinex announced a new investment in Chile based crypto exchange in an effort to boost crypto adoption in Latin America. So yeah, currently, according to Chainalysis, this is another sort of website you guys should check out. Chainalysis really give you really good quants on base. It's like DeFi Llama, but for like the broader space of DeFi. I don't know what happened there. Just give me 1 second, guys. Today we're having a bunch of technical difficulties. Today the computers aren't operating in the right way. Let me get back to the article. So yeah, we basically are seeing a bunch of adoption take place in Latin America, and according to Chainalysis, Latin America constitutes to 9.1% of global crypto valuation, and this is from 2022 data. So the same Chainalysis report also highlighted that Latin America is home to 5 of the top 30 countries in the index, which includes Brazil at 7%, Argentina at 13%, Colombia at 15%, Ecuador at 18%, and then the big one, Mexico at 28%. So we've seen a bunch of, you can say, adoption happen there. I mean, we're going to have Bitfinex go into it right now, but we had Coinbase that opened up in Brazil, I believe. So here it reads: back in March, Coinbase announced service expansions in Brazil via partnerships with local services, including round-the-clock customer support in Portuguese and easier onboarding processes. So the next partnership is also in Argentina, a new partnership on May the 19th between stablecoin issuer Tether and on and off ramp platform Krypton Market will allow support for USDT transactions at Argentina central market. So this is what I mean. A bunch of you can say big crypto heads like your Bitfinex, your Coinbases, your Tethers are actively partnering up and expanding their horizons in South America. So that's more bullish news when it comes to adoption of bigger crypto market. I think Latin America covers about 500 to 600 million or more of the population. So 10, 20 million of those users coming to DeFi is a great thing. The next thing I want to cover is you can say Coinbase, because Coinbase have done something really, really interesting right now, and maybe this is something that we can start to look into for airdrop potential habits. So if Donatello or if any one of you that usually I think realtors here as well, if we see an opportunity here in Coinbase's path to mainnet, then we should be on their test nets for sure. So Coinbase's base network publishes path to mainnet, outlining roadmap. The testnet must perform the Bedrock upgrade and go through audits and stability tests before mainnet launch. So in a blog post titled Path to Mainnet, Coinbase's base outlined a roadmap for mainnet launch. The outline contains no specific dates, but lists 5 criteria needed before the network can launch. 2 criteria can have already been fulfilled, while 3 remain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post this this blog here into the DeFi links and also into the airdrop section, so we can start to plug into this a little bit, because I think this is a big update. If Coinbase is funding a mainnet launch, I want to be part of that airdrop, just like anyone here. So let's read a little bit into this. Just give me 1 second. So Coinbase announced the creation of the base network testnet on February the 23rd. It intended to eventually be a layer 2 Ethereum that uses optimistic rollups. So yeah, they're using layer 2 solution optimistic technology to reduce transaction fees and increase scalability. The current testnet of Base is only connected to Gurley. So Gurley is one of the testnets on Ethereum, and you can access that on your MetaMask through RPC connection. So Base Network relies on the optimistic stack, a set of code that is also used for Optimism Network. It's pretty interesting to see how the layer 2s play out, because you're seeing a bunch of folks like ourselves. We're gonna be looking into Polygon ZK EVM. You've seen Arbitrum launch, and Arbitrum used optimistic rollups, and now you're seeing Coinbase use optimistic rollups as well. So layer 2s are really steaming up right now. In the announcement, Base team said it's progressing towards mainnet launch, but before that can happen, 5 criteria must be fulfilled. First, the testnet must successfully perform the Regulate hard fork, which makes security orientation change to the way deposits are performed. Ethereum went through the same thing. Second, it must undergo an infrastructure review with the Optimistic Labs team. And these first 2 criteria have already been fulfilled, the announcement said. So the third criterion is a successful upgrade of the network to Bedrock. According to an explanatory post from Optimistic team, Bedrock will implement lower fees, shorter deposit times, and several other changes. Optimism upgrades to Bedrock is scheduled for June the 6th. The Base team did not announce a specific date for the version of the upgrade. So yeah, guys, that is that's a big update from Coinbase and their sort of mainnet launch of Base. So we're doing similar things here with ArkNet. So we will be in tangent and understand how their roadmap works. And if you want to sort of go on a little rabbit hole with me and understand the mainnet, the paths to mainnet Blanc, we can kind of do that this week. And apart from that, so we chose Polygon as our sort of base for our layers. It's pretty cool. Some are going for Polygon, some are going for Optimism. So it's going to be an interesting time. Hopefully, go for it, Neto.
Appreciate all this great stuff. I had notes, but I'm not in front of it at the moment. But I wanted to ask regarding this Coinbase. For sure, great. That's wonderful to get airdrops. Is this plan consistent with Coinbase's objective to potentially depart from U.S. market? Like, is there any relation to that thing based on the recent moves they're making like this?
I think this is something Coinbase have been cooking for the past couple of years. It's not the first time I'm hearing about Base. I heard that they were working on a mainnet because they saw the success Binance had. So they're going through the Binance module, and what Binance did was they created the centralized exchange, allowed people to trade on it, and then as they started to see Ethereum gas fee go up, that's when Polkadot and Binance, I realized, started to fork out the mainnet that Ethereum had, and that's where you get sort of a BNB chain, Binance Smart Chain, and Coinbase see the same value here. They feel that by moving into like a DeFi mainnet, that it sort of moves them away from sort of the securities question, and also puts them near other of their competitors like Binance. To say that is it a move out of the US? I would say just it's part of the plan. I think that's why they got the licenses in Bermuda, in the UAE, and we're seeing Binance did that. Coinbase are doing that, have done half of that job, and I think now the mainnet launch really makes Coinbase a DeFi protocol. So I want to see how that plays out. But is it linked to their exit from the US? I don't think, like honestly, I think everyone's waiting on Ripple's court case to see, is cryptocurrency going to be defined as a security, or is it going to be a commodity like Bitcoin is? If it's a commodity, then we stick to the US, because the US has one of the biggest markets. We have, I think, about 15 to 20 million users in DeFi that come from the United States. So I don't think anyone wants to move away from that market. That's what connects us. Like, majority of our source community is American and Canadian.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my opinion.
Yeah, so that's a great thing, because even though despite Latin America rising crypto adoption because of the economies and the stress, it is outweighed by the heaviness on the regulatory climate in U.S. market, because the mindset is abroad that get out of U.S. like you were saying. So any idea on that Ripple timeline? Like, it's been so long. What is your thinking when it will have some clarity?
I think clarity comes next year in the election time. I think they want. I think all these companies have not made a sudden appearance, and this is why the Web2 companies like Google's and stuff, they've not touched into DeFi, because they want to see how the elections play out. Because once the elections play out, then you realize who's writing the policies and who basically takes up the adoption question, or do we go into more regulation? Democrats go into more regulation. Republicans are more sort of freedom-based, that want more access to, you can say, lower taxes and more investments. So there's two different access points. Like, I think this is going to all boil to next year's election, and I'm going to sort of work throughout that and understand that frequency of things. So, but are we looking for an exit? I don't think so. I think we're going to go into the elections and then make decisions.
Why do you think Coinbase decided to go with optimistic rollup versus ZK rollup? I mean, optimistic is known for a slower withdrawal for users.
Optimistic is I would say, okay, fine. I'll say the ZK rollups are faster. But right now, I think Arbitrum is one example of it, and Optimism is another example of it, where they've done their testnet, they've done their mainnet, and there's a bunch of data feeds there. So the person that gives out the first data feed is the one that attracts the bigger fish. So I think that's what's happened with, like, sort of the success of Optimism and the success of Arbitrum thus far. But it's regional. There's like, you have big companies like your Nikes and sort of your Walmarts and stuff that are building on Polygon, for example, for their e-commerce solutions. Coinbase have their sort of solutions. What they have is a different outcome. So that's why it's important that we go into the mainnet launches and understand. Guys, just give me 1 second. I'm just receiving a phone call, so just give me just 2 seconds. Huh? Sorry about that. Can you guys hear me now?
We can hear you. Yep.
You're good.
Okay, awesome. Where were we? Optimism. Yeah, I mean, it varies. Like, what is Coinbase's capabilities as well? What are they after? Some sort of companies are looking for higher transaction rates when it comes to e-commerce, when it comes to customer support, and Coinbase are an exchange, or a centralized exchange, and what they want is a different category. So, but I don't think like optimistic roll-ups are that bad. I think for what they function and the way they sort of work when it comes to wrapping transactions is pretty smooth. Maybe it's a delay of like a second or two, but it's still pretty good. It's something that I've been looking into quite a lot when it comes to layer twos. But we should go into a little we should go into a rabbit hole maybe in these DeFi sessions and read about optimistic and compare the two. I think that's a healthy thing to look into.
As far as rabbit holes, would you be able to, with Brett, or perhaps provide more detail on the idea and the plan for the CBDC rollout? Because you mentioned was recently the Fed now that was delayed. I'm not sure why, but what's the reason? It's like, is it waiting for the political climate to it becomes political for next year? Or what's going on? Like Coinbase was refused a clarity on them as well. The SEC replied like no, and so what's going on? It would be good to get more insight, dig in that rabbit hole if you don't mind, with the CBDC. Brett knows it, and you were saying you were going to review that, right?
No, absolutely. That is part of this week's plan to go into Onyx to understand the Fed thing. My sort of like understanding is a bunch of states are banning CBDCs, and maybe that's one reason to explain. So when you have DeSantis, right? What's his name? DeSantis, Florida mayor. He is basically pretty anti sort of surveillance. Like you can see from his policies, and you're seeing that sort of being adopted in 5 to 6 other states. So maybe that's the reason why, because like to pass something like FedCoin or a CBDC, you need a majority vote. And currently what you do is you do polls, and we know the governments do a bunch of polls. And currently, I think the sentiment is to wait for the elections to happen to see where we go with that plan.
Yeah, bro, but we talked on this because, and Brett can back this up. He was mentioning, talk to him, please. This is a very worth conversation to set up the landscape for us as investors, ARK as helping reinforcing the roadmap to shield us in the future as creating that safe haven and authority, really. Because that may not matter what states do, because it's from the federal side, where international banks, large banks that are consolidating and gobbling up smaller ones, are going to have the tech and the means to purchase the CBDC directly from the government, and then white label that as their own token, like JP. Bank of America, and etc. What does it have to do with the state level? It's relevant, I feel. Unless I'm misunderstanding, and you may know more on this, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, down to it, I think there's a bunch of things that still need to go through, and when it comes to like policies or a new sort of coin that comes out, there's a bunch of regional things that happen in America, and they happen in Europe as well, in the same faction. I think there's two sides to the tale. I think there's half the crowd wants it to be the way it is, and half the crowd is sort of appealing against it, and then you sort of meet in the middle, and that's sort of politics for you. We meet in the middle, and I think there's like just having the election so close by, I think there's just so much more that needs to happen there. I mean, if Trump was reelected, I believe every business right now would have had a crypto wallet right now, and started to look into the digital dollar, because that's where his policy was going. Now Biden comes in and he has his own policy and his sort of regional sort of link up when it comes to finances and economies. So like for us to basically intel where is the sort of CBDC movement is going is basically something that we can speculate or look into. But I think just from us having MetaMask, by having access to things like ERC20 and BEP20 and these sort of mainnets, is kind of giving us our sort of access point that wherever we are in the world, we don't have to go through KYC. We just have to add the RPC to our mainnet and do our thing. But yeah, it is something that like us as a team at ARK really take personally, because like we want people to have privacy. This is why we went for ZK rollups, for example. We want a person, if they're doing a transaction, we want them to have their sort of privacy. And if they want to share their information with a third party, then they have to enable for that to happen. It's like an access point. You should not. No one should have access to your transactions, your information, without your permission. There needs to be an authentication to it, a two-factor to it, let's say, for example. So no, we are really passionate about that.
Okay, no, for sure. Listen, we got to get Brett on for this segment next time or whenever he can after the pre-seed. No, I'm serious. Listen. Everybody here wants to know the idea. They don't tell, I mean, they're not going to reveal anything, but he digged up so much useful stuff, actionable stuff, and he's in the U.S., so that's why it pertains to him, maybe less than you directly impacting, but that because you're international. But the thing is, we would like to know what would be the play, how would this impact our fiat, is it forced to swap, what would be the timing, idea on it, what other players are doing besides JPM, like Bank of America and all that. They're all secretly building this token, this bank-backed token, CBDC-backed token. That's a fact. You can't deny that. They're going to roll it up, and it's going to be based on fiat, and they're going to be forced down our throats with the rollout, and it's going to be on not. I believe that the mayors and the governors of all the states that are trying to oppose it is a gesture to appeal to the masses, when in fact they can't really do much because it's going to be federally controlled. They're not going to, unless they want to ban those banks or whatever in their states or cities. So how else is it going to play out? That's why I feel we need to please look more into it. But Brett, please jump on the stage and share your treasure of knowledge and wisdom on this. I think people want to know, because it's going to impact all of us, U.S. people, because we're not going to be able to know until it's too late if we don't plan for this. Like ArkG would be a beautiful thing, moving things out. It's like a trap. I feel, my personal, that the regional bank's going to be gobbled up. The smaller banks are not going to be able to keep up the technology to adopt with regulation should, like you said, political change happen, the climate, and then the larger banks are going to force this swap down the rest remaining because everyone feels it's safer, right, to go to bigger banks. That's a big ass trap. Let me call it that way, I feel. And then what are we going to do for people in that world, in the fiat, partially there? So that's why we should address it. I hope you can concur.
No, I agree. This is something to really look into. It's something that's important to things like the Magna Carta in England, and when it comes to the Fifth Amendment in America, these are important rights. It's important for us to have the privacy, and have the options that we do, and we shouldn't be enforced into any sort of movement of mass adoption when it comes to CBDCs. We have to have options, and that's why I'm glad that things like mainnets exist. I'm glad that we have a freedom of movement there. And this is why I don't think there's sanctions against BSC or any sort of mainnets up till now, because they realize there's a huge audience there that will back that platform. So it is certainly something to look into. Currently at ARK, you see us, man. Like we want to create the right products for the right time frame, and that's why we went for privacy. That's why we could have gone for many different utilities, but I believe decentralized virtual proxies like VPNs, they're really important. I believe having access to our transactions to be private is really important, and also for us to be pegged against an asset class like gold, silver, and other metals. That's something that Brett is certainly passionate about. So yeah, we will keep to that rabbit hole and understand it as we go. But right now, give the team its proximity to launch these products, man, to build on it, because that's
Of course.
It takes up 10 to 12 hours of our days every day.
Oh, no, you don't have enough time in the day. I know. The last point, if you can deliver in a near future, midterm, ahead of all this chaos that will ensue, and I believe it will happen when the fiat world will go into turmoil, because everyone will be sucked in if they're not prepared. And if you can do a custody-like product that does not require KYC and keep us in liquid gold-backed tokenized commodities of sorts, that would be the greatest haven for all of us. Everybody would agree. Everybody right now here listening and in the future listening, because we would front run any great horrible drastic changes in regulatory climate, forced swaps, or anything like that. We would all welcome this, that we would embrace the ARK drastically, radically accelerate the adoption and the promotion of ARK. We will truly believe that this can save us. I'm not exaggerating. This is legit.
No, Neto, when you speak that, I completely agree, and I go through, I think, 40 to 50 DMs every single day from members here and in crypto. So I assume we have the same sentiment, and we'll keep looking into it, and hopefully before like big drastic measures happen, we have the ARKG out, we have the DVPN out, we have the right, as you say, the custodial products to basically hedge against any sort of inflation of any kind, and that's what we want to work hard to. So appreciate your time, appreciate your suggestions, man. Like, we listen to you wholeheartedly. But now I want to see if Atlas has the thing sorted. Atlas, you there?
Yes, sir. I am back. Yeah. No, I had to fire it again to give the Spark winner his prize. We actually ran it a bit different. We use, because if we use the Spark drawing, it has to go back to pick a new wallet. So what I did was I took the 100% of the Spark that was left, the 50%, and I set 10% to the MVP, and I sent the remainder of that 50% as a MVP airdrop over to the Spark winner. So they have a total here. Let me see here. Here, I got to give that to Mistletoe so we can prepare the announcement. So we got it reset, and it stayed. What happened is the transaction stayed with yesterday's. We did 2 transactions, right? Because we split it. We did a first one and a second one. The first one split. The second one was 100%. So it always keeps the last transaction as the parameters, but it didn't. So we split the pot again. So now we've got that back under control and everything's set. So thank you for that, Johnny Fawcett, who noticed. I'm in I'm in AI mode, just reading out. So he noticed, like, wait, hold on, that wasn't the prize that has to go out. So thank you for pointing that out, Johnny Fawcett. So we're cool in the gang, and congratulations to the winner. of the Spark and MVP. You've been all settled.
I had a friend who made a comment earlier that I want to share with the community, and just how we sort of when we were launching our token and how we sort of we were asking people to test out things, and in real life sort of live feeds we were basically optimizing our launch and how Spark and things work. Like he goes, I've never seen a more transparent community. So I want to give a kudos out to the community here for anyone that's like that comes in as a newbie, it really feels connected to us in a bigger way, and we can do things like like back test our Spark, and if we have an error there, we have Johnny Fawcett that says check this out, sir. It's a perfect community.
Yes, amazing. So I missed most of the DeFi sessions today.
No
we
worries.
had to focus here to get that done. But are we finished with DeFi? No. Thank you for holding the floor, brother. Keeping the education going.
Neto made some really nice points. I hope you got some Neto sort of opinions and what he feels about crypto and DeFi and where the world's going. And it's awesome. But we talked about Latin America. We talked about Bitfinex partnering with a Latin American exchange and expanding their horizon there. We talked about Coinbase's base mainnet launch and what they're going through. That's pretty big. So yeah, those are things we covered.
Amazing. Fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Z. And thank you, Nato, for also stepping up here, holding the floor. And we want to thank everyone for coming out today to the podcast, a special one on Wednesdays. We had Kelly Snook here. We are always happy to see her, ask her questions. Her syndicate, the Rocket Science ARK group, is fantastic. And we want to thank everyone that participated through listening to today's podcast. Everyone, please get ready. Come Friday, 3 p.m. EST, 7 p.m. UTC. We are taking off. You're going to get your positions. Tomorrow's podcast, we're going to go through and give you a glimpse of how the DApp works. It's very simple. So we'll still break it down. There's a couple of folks that requested to see it. So we'll go ahead and satisfy those requests and be ready for Friday. We want everyone to have their best opportunity to get in. Wish you all a wonderful night. Take care of yourselves. Be good to each other. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.